Getting the villagers up here, it's the hard part really. It's the hardest part of all this. So I think I'm going to build all the structure first and all the things that are necessary for the farm. And the latest thing we're going to do is bring the villagers and the zombie. The zombie, it's a little easier because he pursues us basically. So these 10 blocks of separation that we placed in here, that we counted from this spot to this spot, it's basically to fulfill the condition that villagers cannot be near a summoning of an iron golem. So this group of 3 villagers is going to spawn a golem on a platform that I'm going to put around here. I'll show you. Okay, it's going to spawn a golem, and that spawning cannot be the villager that spawns the golem has to be at least 10 blocks away from another villager who's attempting to spawn another golem. So this distance is basically to make each module independent from one another, so that the times do not interfere and the farm loses efficiency, let's say. Now also, we need to respect the area of the 16 blocks. So villagers are able to detect golems when they are within 16 blocks. These areas that I am mentioning are a box basically. They are boxes, not spheres, they are boxes. So if we separated these guys 10 blocks, it's just to fulfill the rule of the not being near a villager that spawns an iron golem. But we need to respect also the rule of they cannot detect an iron golem that has already spawned or that enters that area. It doesn't matter if it spawns or it has to be in the area. If it is in the inside of that area, they won't spawn golems. So we cannot spawn, or we cannot force these guys to spawn the golem anywhere in here, and we cannot force these guys to spawn the golem anywhere in here, because the modules will begin to interfere with one another. And if these guys spawn a golem in here, then these guys will be detecting that golem, and we don't want that to happen because we want them to spawn their own golem. That's why we're building 2 modules, okay? So that's why the golem's gonna spawn basically 6 blocks away from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's inside of the box where the golem can spawn, and we're gonna have something similar in here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why it is a box of 17 by 17 by 13, the reason why we build it up, or we're gonna force the golem to spawn in an upper layer, let's say, of that box, it's because the algorithm checks the upper level first and attempts to spawn at the upper level first. So that makes the farms slightly faster in theory, and that's why we build it up. And then what we need to do, we force the golems to spawn, okay, and we need to take them outside of that platform, and we're going to make them fall into a trap. That's basically to take them outside of the range of detection of the villagers that spawned the golem, so that they can spawn another one as fast as possible. That's in about 30 seconds, 35, depending on how fast the golem leaves this area of detection. We only have to use 1 zombie. It's not necessary that we used 2. So the place for the villagers is going to be this middle block. These 2 blocks, these 2 blocks, and these 2 blocks are going to have beds. Same thing on the other module. The zombie, it's going to go around here on top of this third block. That's why I placed it there. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks from that one to the block, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from this one to the block. So it's non-symmetrical. It doesn't have to be. This zombie has the function of panicking the villagers, and it will panic the villagers when they have an unobstructed line of sight, eye to eye level. That's what the wiki says. To the villagers, okay? So the zombie needs to have a line of sight that's unobstructed to where the villagers are going to be. And that has a range. and that range varies from mob to mob. So for zombies it's 8 blocks, so 4 blocks it's within the range, 4 or 5 blocks it's within the range, 5 or 6 blocks it's also within the range. So the zombie will panic both mobs, both groups for both modules, and that way we only use one zombie. We just placed him he, and it'll be just fine. So that's what we're gonna do. We have to allow the villagers to sleep, and they have some trouble sleeping when they are in panic mode, so we cannot leave the zombie looking at them all day long 24/7, because if we do it they aren't going to sleep, and if they stop to sleep they will cease to spawn to summon iron golems, and the farm will break. So in order to do that we have to allow them to sleep during the night. For that we're going to use a very simple redstone circuit. It's going to be a redstone comparator, well, 2 redstone comparators, and a daylight sensor basically, maybe 2 redstone torches and a total of 4 sticky pistons initially, and 2 slime blocks. I just said, I believe, every single material that we need. So I'm gonna craft all that. We're gonna use a piston and a block attached to that sticky piston. Okay, we need a sticky piston and a block attached to that piston. That's gonna have the function of blocking the eye-to-eye unobstructed line to the zombie, from zombie to villagers, from villager to zombie, and that'll basically turn the farm on and off. And the daylight sensor, it's that we're going to program that with the redstone comparator, so that we want the line of sight to be unobstructed during the day, so that they are spawning golems during the day, during the Minecraft day, and we want the piston to extend and block the line of sight to the zombie, so that they stop being in panic mode and they can go to sleep. That's why we need those materials. So I'm going to craft them. Redstone comparator here. There we go. Pistons. Let's make them sticky. All right, let's take some sand. We need some glass. Well, we don't need it, but I want it. So it's going to be useful here, at least until I have a path, because swimming to the ladders is a bit tedious. We need to build, well, we need to craft tripwire hooks. I am afraid I don't remember the craft of it. Let's see if I can find it. Yes. Oh, wood. Okay, any type of wood there. So 4, there you go. We don't need more. I'm not using this, you know, and I should be using it because these guys are supposed to do the job for ourselves, and I am not using it. So I have to try to use it. I think those wooden planks don't have a place, so in order for them to find a place, at least the chest has to have one of those items. Otherwise they'll just drop it in on an empty chest, and if they find no empty chest, I think they just keep it in their hand and they wander with the item until they do. So have to be careful with the sorting. Anyways, we need tripwire hooks and we need string. We need exactly 2 pieces of a string, I think. We also need slime blocks, now that I'm thinking about it. We only need 2 slime blocks. And yeah, we're gonna put all that. So we are up here at the spawning platform for the golems. Exactly on this block. Every single golem that we spawn is gonna spawn on this block for now. We can extend the modules and make a bit of a modification to it, basically to expand the spawning area, put more blocks. That way they will spawn theoretically a little faster, and therefore the farm will be faster. But I'm not so sure that I have the materials to do it. It uses a little bit more, so for now, I think we'll just make them spawn. We'll force the golems to spawn here, and that's going to simplify the farm, the design a lot. And for now, we'll keep it like that until we gather some more resources to make a small modification so that the farm produces a bit more. I've never tried it, so we'll just make the test, but not now. For now, we're just going to force all the golems to spawn on top of these blocks. So basically what we have to do, and on the other side we're going to do the same, so I'm just going to do it to this side and the other side. I'm going to do it off camera. So I'll explain. Basically what we are going to do is we're going to use a slime block and a sticky piston to push the golem out of the block as soon as it spawns. So the villagers are going to summon the golem because they are in panic mode and all the other conditions are met and blah blah blah. So the golem is forced to spawn in here. It's not going to have, I'm not going to leave any other possible block for it to spawn, so it's going to spawn here. As soon as the golem spawns, I'm going to take it off this platform. I'm going to push him off with the slime block and with the sticky piston, and he's going to fall into a small killing system that I'm going to build down there. The same thing is going to happen at in the other module. I mean, it's going to be exactly the same. So to do that, that's why we need the tripwire hooks. That's the method of detection that we're going to use. And in here I have the sticky pistons and the slime blocks. I think I can place everything now. So I want the slime block to be, this is gonna be a bit different in survival. Yes, I can't fly, and I don't have the beautiful happy ghast yet, so building it at the height is a little challenging, but it's fine. I think I can do it. So I want the sticky piston to be there at the middle block, right in front of that sticky piston, and it's not going to be there, I'm sorry, first mistake. It's going to be one block behind it, and the slime block is going to be basically here. So the slime block is going to extend, and it's going to push the iron golem away from this block. You might think that the slime block has not enough range to push the iron golem out of the block, but it actually does because of the hitbox of the iron golem. The iron golem, it's bigger than this block, and a part of his hitbox it's actually touching this block. Since this slime block is going to occupy that block when it extends, it's going to push the golem out of the platform. And in here we have to put a little bit of a break block so that the golem falls exactly where I want him to fall. We're going to use a glass block for that. Glass blocks are good because they are not solid blocks, so iron golems need to spawn on top of solid blocks. So villagers, even if it's inside of the range, I'm not so sure if it is, but even if it's inside of the range, an iron golem couldn't be summoned on top of that block, so that's spawn proofed. And yes, the mechanism basically, so there's where the piston and the sticky piston goes. We are going to put a tripwire hook at this height, so we're going to have a string in here basically, and we're going to have a block, a solid block there, and another solid block there. We have to spawn proof these blocks, so maybe we'll use glass for that. Why not? That way I don't worry about it. I'm not so sure if it's inside of the range. I believe it is. We don't have to use glass. There's many other methods, but glass is one of them. And well, all these extra dirt, it's basically, well, we can remove it. I removed the string. So on these blocks we're going to put two tripwire hooks like this, and a string. The string's going to go there. So when I touch the string, the idea is that block extends, and I need to build that. So okay, to do it we'll just need to connect this tripwire hook output to the piston, and in order not to complicate things, we're just going to lose this glass block and put redstone on top of it. And we need to spawn proof this guy as well. I'm not so sure about the slime block, but it's better if I just prevent stuff from happening. I have to separate it from one block, because otherwise the slime block, this block will stick to the slime block and it will extend with it. And I don't want that happening. I just want the slime block to touch the golem. And this is basically it. So now it should be fully functional. Iron golems cannot spawn on top of redstone, so that redstone there, it's a spawn proving all those blocks. So he'll be forced to spawn in here. And if I put the string in here, it'll activate this tripwire hook, and you see the slime block pushed me because my hitbox was actually inside of the block. That's exactly what's going to happen to the iron golem. The difference is that he's going to stop at the glass block because his hitbox is a bit big. We have a guy here. And yes, that's basically how we are going to farm them. So I'm going to build that same thing on the other side and see you in a moment, I guess. Okay, so the spawning platforms for the golems are done. The next steps to put the small redstone circuit that's going to control the farm so that the villagers can sleep during the night. We're going to craft the daylight detector and what we need, and we'll build that circuit. Okay, I think we have every single material we need to build the small circuit, so let's build it and try to explain it. So we need to go up there. Let's try using stone blocks for this, not to waste any glass. I don't have silk touch to recover it, and I don't have actually many things. So let's build a small platform here. So allow me to explain. So I have to think of an output for these two guys. I'm thinking a redstone torch like this, it's gonna be perfect. This block can't be removed because we need to block it for the zombie, the sunlight for the zombie not to die. So we're gonna place a glass block here to spawn proof that, and the top of the pistons as well. There you go. So this is gonna be the input. So if I put that redstone torch like that, those pistons are going to be extended. Remember that. So basically, we want this daylight detector to detect a certain light level. If we put a comparator out of that daylight detector, and we read this a signal, this is going to give us some signal strength. Okay, that signal strength, it's going to depend on the time of day. Okay, all you need to know is that the villagers, well, this puts some signal strength in here, and this guy, this comparator, has a very interesting function. As its name indicates, it can compare signals. So what we're going to do with him is compare a signal. The comparator has a total of, it has 3 inputs and 1 output. So there's 4 possible connection points for the comparator. We are only going to use 3. Okay, this site, or this connection, and this one, they kind of do the same. They fulfill the same purpose. So we're going to be using just one of them in this case. Okay, if I put a signal strength on the input that's greater than any of the signal strengths that I connect on the sides of it, this guy on the output is going to put that signal strength in normal mode. If I put my F3 here, you can see that on this side we have some information about the redstone block. It says power 15. So right now, because it's very bright and the sun is at its peak, we have the maximum signal strength, basically 15. So what we want to do with this guy, we want to compare a signal so that it gives an output and turns off this redstone torch. When the redstone torch is off, it means it is the way it is right now, daytime, because that means that these pistons are going to retrace, and there's not going to be obstruction on the line of sight that the zombie is going to get to the villagers, and the villagers to the zombie. And that means that the farm is going to be deactivated. This will allow the villagers to sleep during the night. When it is daytime, we want the pistons to retract the way they are right now, so that the villagers begin to panic and they begin spawning iron golems all day long. Every 30 seconds, more or less, approximately every 30 seconds, we'll get a golem. Maybe a little more than that, it's not too precise, because it makes some attempts of spawning and it has to find a valid spawn, and well, there's some other variables that aren't going to make it exactly 30 seconds, but that's about the time from golem to golem. A little more than that, maybe 30 to 40 seconds, you'll be getting golems from each module. So this daylight detector and this comparator, combined with this hopper right here and this comparator, are going to do the job that we want this guy to do, this circuit. We're going to use two non-stackable items, any kind of item that's non-stackable. In this case, I have a crossbow, a used crossbow, and a used bow that I'm not using for anything, so I'm putting them there. And we also need 10 blocks of any type, okay? If we do that, we'll get exactly a signal strength of 7 on the output of this comparator. So as you can see, the comparator can read whether a container has something, and also it's going to give a signal strength based on the contents of the storage unit. There's a formula for this, and it depends also on the size of the container. So it's different if I use a chest, for example, that has a lot more slots than a hopper. That's significant. That affects the formula and affects the output. So I'm using a hopper because it's accessible to me at this point of the game, and because it has very little slots, and that facilitates basically my need of having a redstone output of 7 right here. So the redstone comparator has also the ability to read signal strengths basically from different components. One of those components is the daylight detector. So this redstone comparator right here has a total of 1 input and 3 inputs and 1 output. This is the output, these are the inputs. So this is an input as well, but we aren't using this one in this case. We're just using this input and this input. And what it's doing, it's basically what its name suggests. It is comparing this signal to this one. So this guy basically can emit a signal from 0 to 15 throughout the day. It'll vary between a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 15. And this one right here will always stay at 7. So if we use this storage unit, a hopper, and we put 2 non-stackable items and 10 items of any kind, we'll get always 7, a signal strength of 7. That means this guy will be varying from 0 to 15, and we'll always be comparing that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 15 to the 7 that it has on this side. When they match, it'll count it as if it were greater. So when they match, it'll put an output, and it'll put that signal strength on the output. Basically, it's going to turn itself on. I don't care about the signal strength on the output. I just care about it turning on or off, giving me an output or not giving me an output, because I want to control, with that I want to control this redstone torch that's attached to that block. So this guy will basically control day-night cycle for the farm to work automatically and never break, never stop working. So if it is nighttime, as you can see, and as long as we have nighttime, the pistons will be extended and the line of sight will be blocked, obstructed, let's say, and the villagers will be sleeping. That's good, because we need them to sleep so that they can continue to spawn iron golems. And when it becomes daytime, when this daytime, or the time at which the villagers wake up, matches the moment when the signal, the strength of this daylight detector is going to be 7 or more. As long as this signal strength is 7 or more, the comparator will be on. If it is on, it will retract, it will turn the redstone torch off, it will retract the pistons, and the villagers will panic and will continue to spawn or to summon iron golems. So that's exactly what we want. So we're going to remove all these blocks that are not necessary. I just had them here to explain the circuit a little bit. So the next step, we need all these beds, 6 in total. Okay, I have placed the small platforms that are going to kill the golems initially. We are going to change that killing chamber a little once I have the materials. I'm gonna extract some of those materials from these farms, so I have to wait until it gives something. The pillow of the beds have to look to, or have to be close to the position of the villagers so that they can reach the bed. You put some glass blocks on top of the beds to prevent the villagers from stepping on the bed when they wake up, and that way you force them to be always at this block. I have to put illumination to this block, by the way. I think like this we are ready to begin moving the villagers. Okay, so I think to move these guys up here, what I'm going to do is build a small temporary elevator made out of dirt and gravel. I need to get them to that level, and up there I expect them to take their beds. I'll allow them to do that, and once they take their bed, I think it's going to be easy to trap them when it's nighttime. So I need to get all of them up there and be really careful with them not falling down here. I hope they are not too stupid. I believe they are not, and nothing bad should happen. But yes, I think I'm gonna bring them from the breeder in a boat. So I'm going to take them out of the breeder with a minecart. Then I'm gonna put them in a boat somehow. Then I'm going to bring the boat here, and I'm going to get them inside of the elevator I'm gonna build. And I'll leave them up there so that they can take their beds, and that'll locate the villagers successfully. Once I have them all in position, I'll start looking for the zombie. I am going to use the same elevator to position that zombie, and we should be ready to go like that. And we're going to change this for some souls in to rock their socks off, basically. And that way I can go up fast as well, at least for now. So now the problem is getting this guy in there. So let's watch my failure at doing it. No, I don't want to lose the boat. Okay, maybe if I just push him. I don't know if I can use leads on him. No, I can't. It seems like he's not an animal. So maybe if I have a lot of patience and I try to push him here, eventually he'll go up. There you go. And let's see. I push him out of the elevator. Wonderful. So I have to do the same with with some other guys, to be precise, if none of them dies, with 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, with 5 more. And wait until it is nighttime so that they all grab their beds. Then remove every path that I have for them to remove all these dirt blocks, for example, so that they do not get outside of this block or the beds. And that way I'll have them all in position. Once I have that, I'll go look for the zombie. Okay, so I have successfully placed or brought all the villagers here. Now we're going to bring the zombie. These are all grown and nice, so we're just gonna block them like that. Spawn proof that. And I'm just gonna put a temporary light source in here. So in order to throw the zombie in, we're gonna remove that glass block, remove the solid block, and we're gonna use a trapdoor so that he we're gonna use the trapdoor. I'm gonna walk in here, and I'm gonna make him come up here. Maybe I'm going to need a little bit more of a space. And yep. So I need to go find one that has Can't Be Kabloot. Okay, here I found one that has Can't Be Kabloot. Put this guy in a boat. Trap him like that. So I'm not so sure about how to do these, because if I get in the boat with him, he'll be hitting me and he'll kill me pretty quickly because I'm in hard mode. So maybe I'm gonna have to build a small path for him. Okay, everything's ready for us to bring the zombie up here and put him in position. First we'll throw at him the fire resistance potion. That should give him about the same, so that should be enough for him to resist the sunlight. You see him burning, but he's not taking damage. Oh, I didn't think about this. I'm not so sure about what I'm going to do. I hope that he follows in. And he did. Okay. So let's see if we can get him out in the boat. Beautiful. And now theoretically all we need to do is get him out of the boat and open the trapdoor. He should be able to pathfind towards us. Are you seeing me? There you go. He falls in there automatically. We can remove the trapdoor now. And be very careful, I don't want to get in the hole with him. Sealed him. And spawn proof that block. Oh shit. They have already spawned an iron golem. I'm gonna have to kill this one manually. And that's gonna be difficult. So he's not attacking me, so it seems like I don't have enough of a bad reputation. So of course all these blocks are valid spawn points. That's why the golem spawned there. So you see, now when I removed all these dirt blocks, the golems will be forced to spawning on the blocks that I put for them. The iron farm is working. You see both modules are working independently. They are both producing golems. I know that because if there's a golem here dying and another one spawns while that one's dying here, it means that it's outside of the detection range of the other guys. So these guys are going to start pursuing all these drowns. I'll have to do something about that. What I'm going to do for now is build a small cage so that they cannot escape from the area that kills them. The magma blocks. And for now it's the magma blocks. I have to accumulate or to get some iron from the farm so that I can craft a few hoppers, and then I'll build a little bit of a better cage to kill them and get all the ingots. I'm gonna wait for a while, get a few ingots, correct that mistake so that I do not begin to get iron golems everywhere down here. And once that's done, I'll see you to end the episode. So back in a flash. Okay, I think I have enough materials to build this. Let's try. Okay, we have successfully finished the small killing chambers and the small picking up system, you know. So basically all the ingots will end up in this chest. For now it's going to be ugly like this. I want to focus on the initial house. It's getting late to build a house, you know. I don't even have light inside. And I get lots of mobs and creepers and stuff inside, and it's dangerous. So yes, I need to get that project done. It just uses so many materials, but it's not too big, so it should be. We should finish the house relatively quickly, perhaps in the next episode. So you see we're getting some ingots and some puppies out of these guys. Next project, well, when we finish the initial house, we'll say what it is. But for now, we just have to wait for this iron farm to give us some iron so that we can craft all the materials that we need for the house. And in the next episode, we'll be building the initial house. Again, it's not too big. It just uses so many resources. I mean, it's crazy. But I had fun gathering everything, and I'm gonna have fun using it, I think. So that's really nice. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.